brother, Professor Zachary Lane Sargent. Sergeant?
Sergeant Lane. Yeah.
Sergeant Lane.
Sergeant, yeah.
Okay.
Nobody believes me.
Sergeant Lane.
Yeah.
Now, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Yes, sir. It was November, right?
November
Yeah,
last
yeah.
year.
Yeah. Funny enough.
Outranking Marco Palau.
By a total of about 3 minutes. And I will always hold that over his head every day.
So what's the story with that? How did that?
I think because when I came in, like he was a white belt, I was a blue belt. Like I was telling you earlier, like I remember it was not that long
talk
ago.
to the microphone.
I remember like it wasn't that long ago.
Uh-huh.
I showed up as like a super fat blue belt, you know, because my other gym had shut down, and then I met him like I don't know a week later. We really hit it off, but he was a white belt, right? So I always outranked him, and then
Now pretty much forever, right?
yeah, forever.
So maybe
now.
the degrees, yeah.
Yeah,
the
unless
degrees.
something weird happens. But he caught up and he passed me because I was out because I got sick. I was out for a while, whatever happened. And so he would always kind of talk shit about that. So I think it was Kevin kind of like was like, hey, promote Zach first. Or somebody told
so
you or it just
funny.
happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Where did you start jiu-jitsu?
I started jiu-jitsu at a place called Valley Martial Arts Center. A lot of good guys, cool people. I had been doing like Taekwondo since I was like 16, and then I got into judo. A friend of mine was like, "Oh, you know, I go do judo in Sawtell, like once a month, or not once a month, once a week." And that's actually where I met Sensei Ron.
Oh,
Actually,
you knew him before.
I've known him for like a long time.
Oh, wow.
Like 10 years.
Cool.
And so we did that, and I was like, I know how to wrestle now. Yeah, I did judo once a week for a few months. Yeah, I got it. And then I started doing karate at this, basically at Valley Martial Arts Center. And one of the
Karate.
doing
Karate.
Shotokan karate. And one of the black belts, who's also a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. And I was like, oh, psh, psh. And I was bigger than him, so I was like, I got it. I'll get him. Nope, tapped me out like, I don't know, 10 times in like 5 minutes. If we rolled for 5 minutes, a bunch. And I was like, oh man, I gotta learn this.
Blew your mind.
Blew my mind. And then, so that's actually how we started.
That's like those moments, right?
Yeah.
Like you're like, I have to learn this.
Yeah.
Like somebody much smaller than you, like my friend who's a lot smaller, or like a female that's much, shouldn't be as strong physically.
Yeah.
Totally
Just
dominates
whips your ass. Yeah.
You're like,
that still
"What?"
happens to me to this day.
Some, right?
Yeah.
But it's so interesting, right? Those are those moments you're like, I have to learn this.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. Yeah. So, and then I think that's I don't want to like say something wrong and forget, but I think that was like the catalyst for them to like start the jiu-jitsu class or whatever. We talked about it, and then they started a jiu-jitsu class, and then I was with them for 4 years. I got my blue belt with them, and then I went to a place called Breakdown Academy with a really excellent guy named John Evans. Was with him for a little bit, and then I had to move on, and then I showed up at your place, and I've been here for 6 years, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that. I think about 6 years.
It's been
a minute.
it's been it's an honor, man, to just see you guys, see you, day in and day out.
Yeah.
And I know you would have to travel to. Where do you live right now?
Right now I'm in Burbank. I'm
Okay.
I'm not
But
very
you
far.
were far. You were like
I was in Simi Valley,
Simi Valley.
which is like a 30-40 minute drive depending on traffic.
No
An hour
traffic.
sometimes,
Yeah. And you still would show up and you committed really to the craft and to the discipline.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's raining today. You're in Burbank now, but
Yeah.
You're here.
Yeah.
And I really admire that, and I respect that, and I'm so proud that you
Appreciate it.
you achieved your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt after all these years.
I can't even believe it sometimes. Like it's probably the biggest accomplishment I've ever done in my life. I don't, I haven't had kids yet or anything, so I can say that without getting in trouble. But yeah, I can't believe it. And it was worth the time. It took me about 11 years, and I've loved just about every minute of it. There's always ups and downs, and crying after a tournament because you got your ass kicked. That's happened to me a few times. I remember at blue belt, I was like doing good at tournaments. I won a couple back-to-back little local ones, so I thought I was like, yeah, I got this. And I go to the World League. I'm like, I'm gonna win this whole thing. I got this. Everybody in my division was giant.
Yeah, because you're the ultra heavy.
Yeah, I'm an ultra heavyweight, right? And like everybody was like 6'3".
Yeah.
Just giant.
Or if the guys are big, they're like really big.
Really big. Yeah, I'm not like fighting like in the local tournaments. Yeah, you know, kind of fighting like somebody's dad. You know, like
because you're buff Zach now.
Yeah, well, I try to be. Sometimes I'm a little bit more of a fluff Zach, but that's okay. But yeah, so it's we'll put up a picture of me when I was really, really buff. There's always ups and downs. Luckily, I haven't had too many like crazy injuries. I did bust my knee up once before I came to Legacy. That took for a knee injury suck, man. They're so scary. I'm always super worried. They're like, you know, in like the back, like the intrusive thought, like, oh man, what if my knee just goes? Oh, Jesus, I don't want that.
Well, that's why you got to do TAC-FIT, man, because you learn all these things to recover.
Yeah. Like
injuries and prevent injuries and keep your stuff moving. And you can see if you go in a certain direction, like, you know, you have some restrictions of mobility, and then you can work on those things, you know?
Yeah, I need to start taking that. I kind of want to start taking that the MMA class at 7 a.m. though. I kind of want to punch something, you know? Yeah. Sounds like fun.
Man. Yeah, man.
Did you were at the Ulta fights, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I streamed them at with Marco.
Yeah, you guys are slacking, not showing up. You got to support.
Yeah.
Because I know you spend a minute, you know. But that's like that. You got to go all hands on deck, you know.
Yeah.
You got to scream and support, and
I was yelling at the TV for sure. I was, what do you do? Come on, let's go. Yeah.
But it's fun too, man.
It's super fun, man.
It's fun. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
Next time.
Yeah. I'm sure we're gonna do that again.
Going back, like, what does it mean? What does it mean to you to have achieved your black belt?
That's tough. You know, I mean, it means a lot. You know, I can say it like that. Oh, it means a lot, and I'm really honored. It means that I was able to really stick with something. You know, and that's been a difficulty my whole life. I have ADHD, so like my brain's constantly like switching projects. It wants to do this, boom, 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 boom. Never really completing anything. You know, I got real close to like being a Taekwondo black belt, but then you know, it didn't happen, and all that jazz. But you know, I found jiu-jitsu, and it was like I really liked it, and I actually really felt like I was okay at it. You know, like with the Taekwondo and karate, I was like, like whatever, I'm doing it, but I never really felt like I was great.
Why didn't you finish to get your black belt?
In like Taekwondo?
Yeah, since you were money?
Yeah, it was money.
Okay.
Because they, you know, with a lot of other arts, you got to pay for your tests and like all this stuff, and so it was a little expensive. But that's another reason I love jiu-jitsu is when you're ready for your belt, you kind of just get it thrown at you, which is a nice thing. But yeah, it means that I was able to stay dedicated to something finally, and like really see it through and finish it. You know, even with having to take a month off here and there for whatever stupid reason.
Yeah, because you know you have a lot of reasons. You were in Simi Valley, you were far away, and that could have been like an excuse that hey, maybe, you know, or you like, I need to stop, or I don't feel like going because it's too far, it's too much time out of my day. But you didn't.
Yeah, no.
You still came.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And even though you took a month off here and there, you came back. You know, I remember asking for, where's Zach?
Yeah. You're like one of the, when I was out because of COVID, you're one of the few people that like hit me up. Like, hey, how you doing? Are you okay? What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, nobody else did. Well, not nobody, but yeah, you were one of the few people that like hit me up. Like, hey, are you okay? Yeah, good. So that was cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, what was the difference, you know?
What do you mean?
Why didn't you not show up? Why did you keep coming? What did it come down to?
Why did I keep coming?
Yeah.
It's
like I said, you moved far away.
Yeah. Well,
and it was like a trek, you know, it's like 2 hours at least, you know, out of your day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I love it here, dude. Like you guys really, not to like make an advertisement or anything, but like you guys make it like a family. Like these are all my friends. This is where all my friends are. I don't have that many outside friends. I got like 2, you know, otherwise everybody I know, everybody I love, they're here. At Legacy. All my friends are here at Legacy. Like Marco's my best friend in the world. I met him here, you know? It's, you know, and jiu-jitsu kind of becomes an addiction a little bit. If you don't go for a while, you start getting a little like, ugh, I need to train. I got to do something. You don't feel good. No, you don't feel good at all. You could kind of like, I get pissy, honestly. I get pissy. Or so my girlfriend tells me. I get upset. Yeah. So that's why I just kept coming. And again, like, because I could have went to a place in Simi Valley, but I really loved it here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of the reason I tried to make sure I moved back to Burbank was so I could get here easy, and it happened to work out. Thank God.
Speaking of Marco, you guys wrote like a little pilot Legacy TV show.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Like it was, just because we shot a little thing and like a little proof of concept. But like, tell me about that, because you guys are so funny together. You guys are funny.
Yeah. Well, I remember like us just like sitting there, like just shooting the shit, like figuring out like ideas and stuff and like writing out the jokes. Basically it's the Office but jiu-jitsu, which, a lot of folks kind of do similar things like that. But I love that style, that concept. Like there's a camera crew recording you and doing interviews like on the side, so you can like reveal your real thoughts about what stupid shit is happening, but yeah, we would just like hang out and shoot ideas back and forth and write them down. I think we managed to we got like the first episode written out, right? I
think so.
I think so. Yeah. We need to go back to that.
Yeah,
I need to bother him about that, because it was and it was fun to do.
We'll continue.
For sure. But yeah, that was a good time. That was fun.
Yeah, you guys are funny. So
I've been told. I asked him. I was like, Marco, you want to come on with me? And he's like, no. I'm like, bro, you're my emotional support friend. Like, get over here.
He doesn't want to say something.
I think he's really,
trying to be politically correct.
He's really worried about saying something.
He's trying to be politically correct.
I know. And he works for you. What's he going to get fired? I have to watch what I say a little bit, but.
Oh my God. Well, man, it's I love you, man. I love seeing you guys. Like, the pandemic was crazy.
Yeah, that sucked.
And like, we stayed together, and
man.
And through thick and thin, and here we are, man. And just this last class was just, it's so cool, man.
Today?
Not today, but the graduation.
Oh, graduation.
This last graduation class.
Yeah. That was crazy. So many people.
You and Marco getting your black belts together.
Oh, yeah.
Just so many people, like, people that, like, man, I've seen almost every day these last, I don't know, forever, it seems like.
Oh, yeah.
I
see these people more than I see my family most of the time.
Yeah.
I don't see my mom have as much as I see these people. Sorry, Mom.
Seeing you guys grow up, and do the work. And
when I got here, I was I would have been like 26 maybe, mid-20s. Different person than I am now completely.
Did you lose weight when you started to do jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, well, actually, no. when I started jiu-jitsu.
And then, those pandemic
Yeah,
things.
So I started jiu-jitsu.
And you got buff Zach.
That's thank you to Professor Robert Miller. But when I started jiu-jitsu, I've been like a big kid my whole life. Like, that's the reason I started like martial arts in general.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
I got picked on a lot in school, and a buddy of mine was like, "Oh, you want to learn how to fight?" And then it was Taekwondo. It's like, okay, but I didn't know at the time that it wasn't like as useful as like jiu-jitsu or wrestling or boxing. And I was just excited to do it. But I get to jiu-jitsu, and I didn't really lose weight until I got here and I got hurt. It was a weird freak accident. I was rolling with, I won't say any names because he hurt me, but I don't really quite remember. I don't want to say the wrong person. I was rolling with somebody, and I hip escaped away, and his weight landed on top of me, and my shoulder just kind of folded in on itself. I heard a big crunch, and it hurt. And I was like, oh shit. And then it just like wouldn't, I'm 99% sure I tore my rotator cuff. And then it just hurt really bad, and nothing worked. And then Bob was like, I can help you with that. I can fix that for you. I can totally magic. I can just get it. Here's a club bell. Do it. And so we did that. It's funny because I was so out of shape. We did.
Oh yeah.
We did maybe like 10 minutes of a tack fit workout, and I almost died. I was like, so we sort of modified it to be more.
That's it. Yeah, you got strong. That's what it was. You started lifting weights after that club bell little shoulder injury.
Yeah.
And then you started getting a routine with your lifting and stuff.
Yeah. Now I have to do it, even though like.
And then you stopped. You were like on and off a little bit during the pandemic because of different. Everybody had situations.
Yeah.
But then you still made it back.
Oh yeah. And dude, when I went from like 285 or something, like almost 300 pounds, a big old gut. I don't know if you remember when I came in, just big old gut.
Yeah.
And then I got down to like 230, just like, oh, fucking yeah. yoked out. Felt really good. That was like, I was talking about like purple belt Zach. That was purple belt Zach. Purple belt Zach was fucking, all jacked. super, super stoked. And then, pandemic hit. I put on a little bit more weight, but like I never got back to that super out of shape, like blue belt Zach.
Yeah,
that was,
it's dangerous, right? That when you get something, then that's when you get in trouble.
Yeah. And now it's almost compulsory. Like I don't even really like lifting weights, but I have to do it. If I don't do it, it's the same thing as if I missed jiu-jitsu for more than like a couple of days.
You feel good after, right?
Yeah, feel great after.
Yeah.
Feel warm, pump going on, feel good, feel strong. But while I'm doing it, I'm just like, okay, fuck, I hate this.
Did you grow up here in LA?
Oh yeah, I was born at St. Joseph's Hospital down the street.
Oh, yeah, from Burbank.
Oh yeah, I'm from Burbank. Yeah, born at St. Joseph's. I went to all three elementary, middle, high school here, preschool too. I've been here my whole life. It's got a small town feel, but it's not. It's actually like the media capital of the world, but it feels like a little town for some reason. I love it here, and I remember a lot of times in high school, kids would always be like, "Oh, I can't wait to get out of here." Kids are, "I want to leave. Oh, I want to go on an adventure. I hate it here."
Ventura.
And then they always like come back. They always show up. "Oh, I live in Burbank again." "Oh, no way, because it's nice here." What's the problem?
Nice here.
It's super nice here. It's safe. It's cool. There's all kinds of cool stuff to do. Get out of here.
We're in a good location in LA, right?
Yeah. And there's legacy.
What more do you need?
Yeah. Not much. That's all I need.
Oh my god. Oh man. Have you traveled with jiu-jitsu, or just local tournaments?
Local. Yeah. I haven't really traveled much. I'd be down to travel if you guys needed a coach or something. Because they have tournaments out in Vegas and San Diego and stuff. So I'd probably go hang out with that. But I don't know if I'd travel to compete. I'm not really there's part of me that really wants to try competing again. And
what about not even competing? What about just traveling to experience jiu-jitsu in Brazil or jiu-jitsu and like a camp somewhere?
Yeah, for sure. That for sure. Yeah, for sure. I'd love to do that. I've only ever traveled out of the country,
like Costa Rica or Nicaragua or Panama or
Costa Rica would be awesome. That'd be beautiful. I'd be super down for that. Yeah, but for tournaments, I don't know if I'd want to pay the extra $300 to go lose in another country. Not to talk crap about myself, but no, I'd be definitely willing to travel. I've only ever traveled. I've been to Europe when I was 24, 25. I went to Europe for 3-4 weeks. That was a cool time. I don't know. Have you ever been to Europe?
Yeah, I lived. Yeah, but I grew up there. I grew up in Munich.
No shit.
I spent most of my childhood in Germany.
Oh, do you speak German?
I speak German.
Oh, wow.
I'm rusty, but I at one point I stopped speaking English at home and was only speaking German.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
So my mom brought me back for a year to kind of relearn the English in a way.
Yeah.
It was fully immersed German
What
kid.
ages were you?
From 4 years old to 12.
Okay. Yeah. I can't imagine you just sitting there
crazy.
spitting German.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. Total German kid. Yeah.
I was in Germany. We landed in Munich, I believe, or we got there, and then we drove around the Black Forest for a while, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And for some reason, I was convinced Germany would be cold, even though it was summer. I was like, it's Germany. It's cold, right?
Yeah.
I've seen the war movies. It's always cold there. And then I get there, and it's fucking muggy and sweltering. I was like, oh, this is not what I thought this would be, but it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's really pretty out there. Food's good, too, and a lot of beer. And I'm a fan of beer. So
What's your ethnicity?
I'm Scot-Irish.
Scot-Irish.
Yeah. So
okay. That's cool.
Pretty standard white dude. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I was gonna ask you about why do you do jiu-jitsu? We're just talking about it before a little bit, I had to come in. I had to have to train. So why do you do jiu-jitsu?
I think it's again, it started out of I need to be able to defend myself, because I'm a big guy. I'm not going to run. If something bad happens, I got to stand and fight. And I think it started with that, but now that I'm more confident in it, one, I would never start a fight ever. You do combat training long enough to the point where you don't want to fight Because you know what could happen? It's crazy. Anything could happen. Or you maybe hit somebody and they hit their head on the cement, and you're going to jail for 10 years or whatever. Like it's never worth it to fight. But it started out with me like wanting to be able to defend myself, and getting bullied, all that crap. And then it just became a bit of an addiction and obsession. You know how the blue belts get when they're like, that's all they talk about. It's all they think about. It's all they dream about. They put BJJ at the end of their Instagram handle. Guilty, I did it about blue belt, Zachary and BJJ, if anybody wants to add me. Yeah, I just, initially to protect myself, and then it just became an obsession. It's something I have to do to like feel good. If I miss more than 2-3 days, I start getting itchy. And I'm like, I hate me. Everything sucks.
You mentioned like those kinds of things. Like, I just want to kind of go a little bit deeper. Like, what are the things why do you think you need jiu-jitsu?
That's tough.
So I shouldn't even say need, but like you do, right? Why do you have to do jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, even after like bad days, I got to go back. You know what I mean? That's like a harder question, man. Like, but that'd be tough to figure out. I mean, I'm sure it's like some kind of like neurological thing, like people that get addicted to stuff, you feel like you have to do it. But if you want to like be like philosophical about it,
I'm not overthinking it, but just like, I mean, it's feel like a feeling place,
It's like my therapy. I feel even after a bad day, it lets you release the negative emotions and any like nagging. You did this today, and this is bad, and money's tight, or whatever it is. When you're fighting, when you're rolling on the mat, training, it goes away because I gotta not let this guy choke me. I gotta try to pass this guard. I got to say something mean to Marco.
Or laugh at him being mean to you.
Laugh at him being mean to me. Yeah, it's therapy. That's really comes down to it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
it's therapy for me too.
Yeah,
it's crazy, right?
Yeah,
how that works.
It's the weirdest thing because we're like literally trying to kill each other, and it's the most relaxing thing.
Yeah. I think the connection, right? The human connection. We live in this city with 10 million people, right?
Yeah.
And we're all like on our phones or whatever. And everybody's busy, but like we come here and we're totally present with each other and talk shit to each other.
So much shit. It's my favorite thing.
And laugh at ourselves, right? And face our fears. And stay out of push our comfort zones.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Jiu-Jitsu definitely does that because you got to get comfortable with like a 250-pound dude just sitting on your head, just smushing the fuck out of you. I remember lower belts, when I was lower belts, like blue, white, blue, whatever, purple probably too. You tap to pressure sometimes, like somebody's just smothering you. You can't breathe. It's hot. You start to panic. You tap.
Yeah.
And that's something you got to break through. Learn to just be uncomfortable. It's okay. You'll survive.
So interesting. That's so deep, right? Like somebody huge is on top of you in side control.
Yeah.
And if you panic, like in a stressful situation, like that's it, right?
Yep.
Like you fall off. But in jiu-jitsu, if you learn to not panic.
Yeah.
Because everybody has like you've panicked and you're like, I can't panic because I'm going to lose.
Fight pops up. Yeah.
So you learn, okay, let me breathe. Let me find a way to breathe. Let me find a way to breathe. And then I make my move.
Even if you just like can just make a little bit of an air hole.
It's crazy, right?
Fine. Yeah. You do that all the time. You're getting smothered and just, okay, I'm fine. I'll be fine here for a little bit. They're not stabbing me, so I'm okay.
And I think that just translates to life, right? And just situations.
Yeah. I'm definitely less less stressed out about silly things. Things that like don't matter. Like no one's trying to fight me right now. I'm not dying. Nobody's dying. So it's okay. It'll get done. Whatever it is, it'll get done. It'll work out. It's no big deal. It'll be okay.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
What you have any goals in that you got your black belts?
Yeah.
Did you think about as your goal, I want to get my black belt? Did you think about that? Or did you just keep showing up?
I think I just kept showing up because with jiu-jitsu,
probably subconscious you did, right? Subconscious, I was like, I want that. It looks cool. I want that belt. But I just kept showing up
Because, you know, for one, like the average length of time to get your black belt in jiu-jitsu is like about 10 years, I think, something like that. And like in like a lot of karate, it's like 3. You know, it's, you know, whatever, you get it in 3 years. And that isn't a dig at anyone, that's just true. But so I wasn't like because it wasn't going to happen anytime soon. I wasn't, you know, and I'm not like, you know, BJ Penn. I'm not a phenom. I'm not going to get it in whatever it was, 3 years, 2 years, something crazy. So especially when I got to brown belt, I was just like, whatever. I was like, it's fine. I wanted it, you know, and I can admit now, the black belt I wear, the one that I've been wearing, I've had that in a drawer for at least 2 years. It's been, or maybe 3. It's just been sitting in a drawer.
That's legit.
Yeah, man.
So you did.
Yeah.
Consciously, subconsciously,
yeah.
Right? Like,
and then I almost forgot about it. I like stuffed it in there, and then I was a brown belt for 2.5, 3 years, something like that, and I just kind of forgot about it. And then like the promotions were coming up, and I was like, okay, Marco keeps telling me I'm getting my black belt, but he does that to everybody. Oh my God. Hey, you're getting your brown belt today. Hey, show up. And then you show up and nothing happens. So you fucking jerk. It's funny though. It's funny. But yeah, I stashed it.
It's funny because they, on the flip side, everybody did that to him.
Oh yeah?
Well, when he was a brown belt, yeah.
Oh yeah, good. They
like
should.
saying like, hey, you're going to get your black belt today.
Yeah.
You're going to get your black belt
Good.
today. Like everybody was in on it too.
That's because he would do it to everybody else. Yeah. Good. That's funny, man. It's fun. I really like the kind of like loosey goosey, like shit talking nature we all kind of have with each other. Like it's really so nice. It's very it's relaxing. It's funny because we're kind of all being mean, but like it's like how nice. Like it's weird. It's really weird. I don't get it, but it makes it's another reason I keep showing up. You know, like I said, like all my friends are here. Like this, I get to like you know, fucking jab at people and You get to work your like mental jujitsu too, talking shit. Like how can I?
Yeah, we're being real, right? Authentic and down to earth. You know.
Yeah.
Don't take yourself too serious.
No,
if you do that, then you're screwed.
Fuck yeah. No, why would anyone? I don't ever take myself serious. Are you kidding me? To my detriment at some point, but like, whatever, dude. So it's silly. We are a bunch of apes on a rock, and I'm sure everybody said this. We're a bunch of apes on a rock flying through space. It's mostly salt water, which we can't even drink, and then we're trying to make sense of all this crap. It's very silly. Money's made up. Cities are made up. It's all made up. So who like don't take
Are we living in a simulation?
Oh man, that's a question. Maybe. And if we are, so what? You don't know. It doesn't matter. Does it make it any less real if we are? I don't think so. You know, maybe when you die, you wake up and like, hello, it's a bunch of aliens. Go, good job, you did great in the game. All right, get back to work. And like, oh fuck. But that's fine. It doesn't matter.
It could be, right? It could be.
Who knows, dude?
It could be.
You can come up with all kinds of crazy shit. You never know. That's a funny one. There's a lot of cool like shit like that where you're like, okay, well, what is this really? It's like at the end of like Men in Black 2 maybe, where he opens the little locker, and then in the locker is just a bunch of giant aliens. They're just a little toy in another world and shit. Like, who knows, dude? Who knows?
I was talking to the guy who works at SpaceX, right? Mm-hmm. And just the Falcon, whatever, not what I'm sure, the rocket.
Yeah.
But I guess it weighs as much. They're gonna launch it pretty soon, this next month. So I think this next month, and it weighs as much as a skyscraper.
Shut up.
And they're gonna shoot that thing into space.
As much as a skyscraper? Yeah. That engine's got to be insane. I'm assuming it's an unmanned one, right? Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, I would think it would be manned, right? Because they're sending.
I feel like
maybe they're sending stuff to Mars. Maybe. Maybe that's why it's so big and heavy.
I'm not sure.
Or maybe stuff to the moon. Who knows?
It might just be them just seeing if they can do it. That's a lot of like a lot of that SpaceX. It feels like they're like, all right, let's see if we can get this big fucking thing into the.
It's crazy,
into the
they're shooting a skyscraper into
that's nuts, dude.
That's nuts. Space.
Yeah, that's got to be so much fuel, and engine. It's such. I'm not a fucking rocket scientist, but from my understanding, like you got to figure out like because the fuel you put in the engine and Armin can confirm this or not. The fuel you have to put in the engine, it weighs something. And so that's going to offset how much fuel you need to get the rocket into space.
Right.
Because it weighs more the more fuel you put in it, but the heavier it is, the more fuel you need. So that's insane, the fact that it weighs as much as a fucking skyscraper and it's going into space. I remember when they launched one, Falcon Heavy or whatever, and I lived in I lived in North Hollywood at the time, and I remember it was right around when North Korea was like, we're gonna bomb you, like they were doing that thing, and I remember in the sky you see like the white like tail, and it's like breaking apart, and I remember everybody in my neighborhood was like, oh my god, what's going on? And even I was like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And
it's
then
like,
Marco,
like a blue thing, right?
Yeah. Marco calls me and he goes, dude, go outside. And I'm like, I'm already there, man. I think we're being
That
attacked.
guy did that time lapse video. That was
we were all worried, and then it was just SpaceX. We just didn't read the news. That's all it was. And then I pretend that everybody else is dumb, and I knew it the whole time. I didn't. I was worried.
You know that whole thing, like we didn't land on the moon.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
We landed on the moon.
We landed on the moon.
Yeah, for sure.
And they chased down some of the older astronauts and say, hey, we're like they have some proof.
Yeah.
Because you have a NASA shirt on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sweatshirt on.
Yeah, I like NASA.
Let me see a NASA. Yeah.
National Aeronautics and Space
Yeah, so we're talking about space.
Yeah.
So why do you love space? Why do you love NASA?
I mean, space is cool, dude. It's like endless, man. It's super dope. There's for sure other beings out there. The universe is infinite. There's at least a couple. We've already found several Earth-like planets in the habitable zone of different star systems, solar systems, whatever. There's got to be some kind of life, even if it's just like some amoeba in a pond on a moon somewhere. There's something out there, but there's probably also like actual like Star Trek aliens. It's got to be. It's too big for there not to be. There's theories about why there wouldn't be. I forget what they're called.
You think about this a lot.
Yeah. I'm a huge nerd. I'm a big nerd. Yeah.
Like Professor Alexander, he sends me like these videos, you know?
Yeah.
Just on like the universe.
Yeah.
What if it's like a living thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, a lot
like
of
a living thing, like the amount of neurons and stuff we have is the same amount of like, galaxies and it's like everything's like the same.
Yeah. If you look at like nebulas and stuff, it'll look like synapses in a model of the brain or your eye, shit like that. So like, yeah, man, it could be. We'll never know. You don't know. It's cool to think about. It's a fun thought experiment. But yeah, man, space is super cool, and we definitely went to the moon. It literally would have been, and I'm gonna probably get shit for this, but it would have been harder to fake it than to just throw some dudes in a rocket and shove them under the moon. Like, it would have been way harder to fake it. We didn't have the technology to do CGI and lasers and all that shit. We got to the moon on like shit that is less powerful than my phone. This is way more powerful than the Apollo rocket's computer. So yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
See, people get crazy with that we didn't go to the moon.
No, we did not. Absolutely not. The flag wiggled a little bit. So it was all fake. Okay, sure. Why, though? Doesn't matter. It's the moon. But,
What did it symbolize to go to the moon?
I mean, at the time, it would have been...
Because we could outdo the Russians, right?
Yeah, that was basically it, if I remember my history.
Than Soviet Union.
Yeah, that was really it. It's like, look at us. We got the biggest rocket. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it was. Really, like, yeah. It was
we got there first before the Soviet Union.
Yeah. Suck it. That's pretty much what it was at the time. And then we really haven't been back. If I remember correctly, we go into the atmosphere a lot. We do a lot of orbiting. We throw robots at Mars. But we haven't really just been to the moon, which, there's just rocks up there. Or maybe there's aliens.
I'd like to go to the moon.
Dude, that's terrifying.
Right? I don't maybe even need to land on the moon. Right?
Just like orbit it and come back?
Yeah, man. See the Earth from out there. That'd be crazy, man.
Tiny, yeah.
Talk about like a bucket list, man.
Pale blue dot is what
Dude,
one of the astronauts called it.
Like going above the Earth, like you hear about these astronauts talk about, the meaning of life, and we're talking about, all these. It doesn't matter, but then you go out of the Earth and then you look at the Earth and then you're like,
there's like
so many things in perspective.
There's so many people fighting for nothing. You're this big. You're tiny in the vastness of the universe, which is infinite. Do you understand infinity? You probably really, not you, but like just the people, you don't really understand it. It's infinite. It's endless. And you're fighting because somebody wants your oil or you're on my dirt. Like, dude, who cares?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, right? With all this blockchain technology and the new technologies and stuff, but just take the human element out of with the greed and people fighting for no reason, right?
Greed's going to be the end of it.
Right? Well, that's that's why like a lot of these wars because of special interests and and who pays the bill, like
war generates a lot of money.
So and the reconstruction of the damage, right?
Yeah.
It's a whole
it's a whole system.
but hopefully I'm optimistic on the future with the new technologies, you know, blockchain,
I'm
those
really
kinds of things.
Really excited to see. And hopefully I'm not like super old by the time we get like cool like cyborg arms and like, you know, crazy AI and like the Matrix where you plug in and you're playing a video game. Like I'm Superman.
You learn jiu-jitsu in
you just plug
1
it in,
second,
done. I mean that would kind of like defeat the purpose a little bit of like jiu-jitsu, but like that is cool to think about that, or doing like in
but
Star Trek.
You learn the things, right? You learn the things. I think about this, right? And like that, but I think about like the future and jiu-jitsu and how that works. And man, it's like so many things. It's like the human connection, us, like the touch, the, you know, the experiences that we share together, shared reality, and the challenges and all the things that make us better, right? The therapy, like the makes you feel good, makes you feel better, the connections. Yep. So I think like, you know, robots not going to be able to do that.
No.
I mean, that's what makes us human.
Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu is so human.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when you're a kid and you're playing with your little brother or whatever, like, or if you watch gorillas fighting each other, just play fighting, like that's basically jiu-jitsu. They're doing ankle picks and they're, you know, working a guard or whatever.
When you're
like
a little kid, huh? You said it, Like we're like you're being like a little kid.
Yeah.
We're like
playing.
You know, Savage is 76, and he's like, I was like, you know, I feel like I'm 25, you know, and he looks at me, he's like, me too. He's 76.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
He heel hooks people like a 25-year-old. So.
But it makes you feel young because I, you know, right? Like I always tell the story about the psychologist from that had a black belt in Pasadena back in the day, and we had a deep conversation. I'm like, why does it like people that are younger? I mean, I'm sorry, people that do jiu-jitsu, like they always seem like they're younger than you know. They just seem young, you know, to me.
Yeah.
And he looks at me, and he's like, that's interesting. And he's like, yeah, when you get older, everything's in the past or the present or the future. You're never really in the present. When you're a kid, everything's in the present. You're not thinking about the future. Everything's in the now.
That makes sense.
And
That's
so basically, when you train, like you said,
Yeah.
It brings you back to your childhood.
Yeah. That's why when you're a kid, everything seems to take forever too, because you're there in the moment.
Yeah, you're there in the moment.
When you're an adult, like when you're a kid, 20 minutes is forever.
Yeah.
Now that I'm a grown at 20 minutes,
you can't say stuff to kids like, oh, you're gonna get it in 20 minutes. Like they want, if you say it, then they want it now.
I'm present. I'm here. Let's do it. Yeah, exactly.
They got it straight, and then we get messed up as we get older, right? With all this
we screw
nonsense.
It up. Yeah, nonsense is a good. Yeah, exactly. It's all nonsense.
Oh my god. So you going to the moon if it's
oh yeah, no, that's terrifying.
Terrifying.
I'll be So
what if it's safe, like you know, getting on a plane?
Like
do you fly
like
on an airplane?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay,
that doesn't bother me.
Okay.
It's weird because when I go.
Now, are you gonna go? Are you gonna go on?
Go
to the moon? Oh yeah. He's down.
Oh, yeah.
He's down.
When I go on an airplane, I always like what's the word I want? Like I give myself up to the fact that this could be it, you know, because like we're going up and this thing could come down bad. So I'm just like, whatever. Like as soon as I'm up, I'm like, all right, well. But for some reason, like space, the moon, it's a little like it's so most of space is empty, and it's there's no air.
Hopefully the engineers did their job.
Yeah. Hopefully this is a space plane up to par there, bud. Did you get all the inspections? Because that. Yeah.
What I'm curious, you know, going up and then I'm thinking of like the moments, right? That really like that with meaning, right? And so I think one of the moments would be going out into space and then seeing the planet from
as it gets smaller
above.
and smaller and smaller.
Yeah, just from above, and then just seeing it from the outside.
Yeah.
You
you can kind of do that if you got enough money. You can like do because didn't like Bezos. I mean, like this is a little bit different than what I'm thinking, but like Bezos just launched
similar. Similar.
Just to do it, and you can definitely do like a suborbital plane or something. You can buy a ticket for that.
But going to the moon,
that's
pretty cool, you know. And if it's safe, if it's pretty safe, you know. So going outside of the planet would be cool, and then I think. You know, of course, seeing the moon, going closer to the moon. So those two things, right? Seeing the Earth, you know, maybe getting smaller, just the whole experience of being outside of the Earth, and then seeing like the moon, you know, having like a different perspective, and then going back in.
Yeah.
Like
that's the scary one.
Going exactly
all the fire and like you
yeah.
the fucking whatever the panels. I'm sure they're called. The panels are working because this is fucked. If it's not, it's all bad. Oh man.
And crashing into the ocean or wherever you.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, well, now we land the shuttle, or I don't even know if we use shuttles anymore. But you can like land it like a plane. But like back in the day, like the Apollo missions, like you slowly lose most of your rocket. And then you get there, you land on a little weird like golf cart with legs. You go out, you collect your rocks, you shoot that thing, you get back in like basically a pod, shoot that thing back at the Earth, and then hopefully you hit because you got to hit the fucking atmosphere right so you don't just explode. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was fascinated with the whole NASA and space shuttles
same.
And going to the moon and all that, you know. So I think just subconsciously when somebody says like we didn't go to the moon, I get mad. Yeah.
Dude, same. There was that,
how dare you say that?
Did you see that video? My childhood. Did you see that video of that guy going up to like Buzz Aldrin and be like, "We never went to the moon."
I saw that. I was getting mad. I was getting mad,
dude. Yeah, I'd have done the same shit. Tell me we didn't go to the moon, you son of a bitch. Oh, that's hilarious.
My mom's cousin was first cousin was the doctor to the astronauts.
Okay.
On a few of the the space shuttle missions when I was a little kid.
Yeah,
and so he would always send me like little toys of the space shuttle and things like that. Yeah. So I was
that's
like,
dope.
I was always fascinated
by it. A lot of technology goes into that. And like if a fucking little screw isn't quite tight enough, the whole thing could go.
Man.
Fuck, dude. That's really scary. Astronauts are brave. Astronauts are very brave. That's freaking terrifying. That's very scary to me. And again, space is empty and there's no air. Like one of my like things I like get like freaked out about is
that was like oh my, you guys it's from jiu-jitsu to space.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's pretty common. I feel like a lot of jiu-jitsu guys will honestly they'll get stoned and talk about space. Hey man. But like they're like on their little like jetpacks in space doing their thing, and like if you get pushed off and you run out of steam, you're just gonna float forever.
That's crazy, huh? Or that thing gets disconnected.
Yeah. You lose your hook or anything. It's just fucking later. You're just floating. You're waiting for your oxygen to run out. Well, guys, I love you. Talk to me for the next hour until I die. Fuck, dude. No.
Yeah, imagine on the intercom.
Hello? Please.
Hello?
Somebody's out there, right? We can't get you, Jim. You're too far. Fuck that, dude. But yeah, so
oh my God.
that's why I'm trepidatious about going into space. But I love it. I think it's super cool. There's a lot of like cool like space physics, astrophysics simulation games where you can like, what happens if I throw an asteroid at Earth and it's the size of my coffee cup? Oh, it makes a big crater. It makes a big fucking crater. That's it's nuts, man. There's always like a comet asteroid that's gonna get pretty close to us, or like all kinds of weird shit. Anything can happen.
What was that movie? It was like a newer movie. It was like a funny movie with like a lot of big actors.
I didn't see it, but I know what you're talking about. With like Jonah Hill,
yes,
like Ariana Grande, whatever. Like,
yeah.
Like, an asteroid's coming to hit us, and they're just like whatever, or like they're just kind of shitty about it. I don't remember. I actually didn't see it.
Oh my God!
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. It was hilarious. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Okay, I gotta watch that.
It's just about that and the political governments and them like being a theater show and we can do this, we can do that, and then because they mess around so much, the comet actually is too late.
Yeah, that tracks. That fucking tracks.
And one of the main guys in the government or whatever, he's like, you know what, I'm out, and he just decides to go spend time with his family.
Okay.
Because it's gonna happen. We're going down. We're done.
That's the same as you seen the movie it's like Seeking a Friend for the End of the World with the guy from The Office, I'm losing Steve Carell. It's really good. It's basically the same thing. Like we find out that an asteroid's going to hit us, and there's nothing we can do about it. And it's like whatever. It's like a month out or 2 weeks out, and this dude just kind of they hear about it in a car, and his wife just like looks at him, and she's like, "I don't really love you," and fucks off, and like just leaves him. And then he's sort of like dealing with that. The world's gonna end. He just like goes about his day for a while until he meets a girl and they go on an adventure, whatever. But like it's kind of the same thing. And then it ends with like the asteroid hitting, and it's kind of very sweet but scary. Like that's a very scary thing to just like the world's gonna end. You know what I mean?
Did you see that? You saw Rogue One, the Star Wars movie?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I like the scene they whatever, I forgot where they go to that world route, and then the sun's gonna take over the planet. So they're basically sacrificing themselves to save or to stop the what's the bad guys,
The Empire.
To stop the Empire.
Oh, like the girl's gonna, I forget what she does.
There's a girl and a boy and a guy, and then they're gonna die, and then they just see the sun or whatever that just takes them out. But they have comfort in knowing that they're like together.
They did the right thing and they're there together. Yeah, it's basically the same thing. You're just like, well, this is it. Love you. Gone, because you're not even gonna notice once it hits, it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, going back to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, sure.
Do you remember being a white belt?
That's weird. Now that you say that, I remember being a blue belt. Yeah, I kind of remember being a white belt. I remember I was that white belt that like when I had like all my stripes, I was like, so when am I getting my blue belt? Which all that did was make my blue belt take longer. I was that guy. Oh, come on, I want it. Don't be that guy. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I was going to ask you advice you have for people starting out as a white belt. So don't be that guy. Don't be that asking guy. For one, belt.
Don't be asking for belts. Don't do that. You'll get it. It's fine. And then don't rush. Don't worry. Just show up. Do your training.
Enjoy the process.
Enjoy the process.
Enjoy
Make
the
sure
journey.
you drill. Worry about surviving. Oh, I can't tap anybody. You're a white belt, dude. Of course you can't tap anybody. Who cares? Dude, just do it. Figure out how to survive. And then in your blue belt, you can kind of like learn how to escape stuff. And then everybody says, and then purple belt, you learn how to attack or whatever. But it's true. Like you just try to survive. Don't sweat the technique,
As a blue belt, do you remember being a blue belt?
Oh yeah. I remember being a blue belt.
And what advice do you have somebody going through that belt?
Don't gain a bunch of weight. That's one piece of advice I'll give everybody. And then drill on both sides. Don't be like me and I can only pass to the left. I'm good at it though. Just keep showing up. Always train. Like just train as much as you can. Drill. Don't be lazy. Just drill. Says the guy that sometimes will not drill as much as he should. But drill. Don't feel bad when you get beat up, or if you get tapped by a white belt, who cares? It's not a big deal. None of this is a big deal. It's all good. Technically, this is fun and games. We should be having a good time. So enjoy yourself, really. The process, honestly, for all the belts is enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Have fun with it. Because when I'm having fun, my jiu-jitsu is pretty cool. When I'm not having fun, I come in grumpy, whatever the fuck, we've all seen me in one of my moods. And my jiu-jitsu is bad. It's bad because I'm not in the flow. I'm not feeling good because so just have fun. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, that's it. For all the purple belt.
We're going to go through all the belts. Okay. No.
Yeah. Your thoughts, your memories,
Purple belt. I loved purple belt. Purple belt was my favorite belt before black belt. But purple belt was really, really fun. You really start to feel like, jiu-jitsu, And I remember as a white belt, all the blue belts I met were like these crazy, powerful beings. Like for some reason, like they were all like Jean-Jacques blue belts because we were like affiliated, and they were just like they would beat the fuck out of me for one, and they were like, oh, it was almost unattainable. Those blue belts, like, oh my god, how do I ever get that good? And then, you get the purple belt and you're like, yeah, blue belts are fine, So yeah, I just remember like wanting to be that, and then you get to your blue belt and you're there, and it's like, okay. Got to keep training because it never ends. And you get to your purple belt, and again, like purple belt was awesome, super fun. Also, I just like the color purple. That's probably one of my favorite colors. Yeah, you start to really feel like jiu-jitsu. I think somebody said like purple belt like has all the knowledge that a black belt would have, but just like not as much like practice with it. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the
timing
idea.
And everything.
Yeah. And so like you really start to feel like, okay, like I know this shit, and like that was when I was in my best shape too. So I just felt like I was unstoppable. And then for brown belt, it's like I don't know if you've seen that meme, that jiu-jitsu meme where it's like Thor, four frames of Thor, and it's like white belt Thor, blue belt Thor's skull, like lightening up, purple belt Thor, super jacked, whatever, and then brown belt Thor, he's fat with the beard.
I've seen that. Yeah.
That's legit. That like legit was like my thing. Like purple belt, I was all lightening up, and like brown belt, like whatever. Fucking give me a beer. Just fat Thor all the way. So my advice.
Well, you mixed in the pandemic, right?
That didn't help at all. Yeah. That did not fucking help at all. What a shit show, man. I'm really glad that shit's over. Because that was not a fun fucking 2 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
Yeah.
It's funny, you still see people like driving in their cars with the windows up by themselves with their mask on. I'm like, bro, I'm all about it. Wear your mask, but like. Yeah. You're by yourself in your car, dude. You're okay. You're safe. I promise you're safe. So brown belt is like fat Thor for me at least. So my advice there is, just don't let yourself get lazy. Because maybe, I don't know if it's like, because it's like near the end, quote unquote, you're almost at your black belt, like whatever. Like some people like train really hard and they compete a lot at brown belt. And then, you get dudes like me and like other people that are like, well, whatever. You get the fat Thor phase. And then, and then I got my black belt and, that was cool. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Like I can't thank you enough. And it was surreal putting it on. Like I remember giving my speech and I just like, when I said like, oh, I'm about to cry, everybody cheered me on. And like, I just like lost my train of thought because the whole thing was so nuts. I was just like, well, thank you. And then I left. And I remember like the first week after I got the black belt, I felt like a killer. I felt like a monster. And then it went back to normal and it's all good and everything. But like, it was a very, very cool, very surreal experience. And I don't know, man, it's literally the biggest accomplishment ever. And, I'm proud of it. And I'm not proud of a lot of things, but I'm proud of that, Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. I had a conversation today with Armin. He's like, what do you look at for somebody to give them their black belts? Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's pretty simple, they surrender to the process.
Yeah.
And, because what I was asking me, he said something before. He basically said it in a nutshell, but basically but you said it just now, like through the belts, right? Just show up, just go,
Yeah.
But you surrender to the process of routine, and within the journey, within the process, you start to change everything about you, like your posture, how you think, your friends, you're happier.
Yeah.
You just become greater because of the process.
That's a good become greater. That'd be a good T-shirt. Yeah, that's fair. That's very true.
No, but he's like, what's the thing that you like? It's like, oh, they surrender to the process.
Yeah.
They surrender to the process of the journey.
Yeah. Just let it, it's like the force, let it flow through you, like just do it. Like just show up, train. The time will pass regardless.
You're dedicated,
Yeah.
You're dedicated. Yeah. You've dedicated yourself.
Yeah.
You're an example of that. And you said it like without, me saying that, but you said it like, I don't know how many times already, I was talking right now.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Well, thank you.
And that translates to everything that we do, right?
Yeah. Jiu-Jitsu translates to a lot of things just out in the regular world. And when you start feeling confident, it gets rid of a lot of like fear when you're outside or anywhere, You're in a public space with a lot of people. Oh, what if something bad happens? I don't know. What am I going to do? And then like, get up to like purple belt, brown belt. You're like, whatever, dude. Nothing bad's going to happen. I'm okay.
It gives you confidence, right? Having all your friends and people giving you, joking with you out of love,
Yeah.
Talking shit out of love,
Yeah, oh yeah.
And gives you confidence. You're like, whatever, I'm good,
Yeah. I'm never like
you can laugh at yourself.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing. And I don't know how much. Some of that is jiu-jitsu, and some of that is just like the fucking wonderful atmosphere we have here, where we all kind of talk shit to each other, and it really like helps. What am I trying to say? Damn, it really like it helps figure out like how to build yourself, how to just not take yourself too seriously, and
how to build your confidence.
Yeah, your confidence comes up, because you're talking shit and you go back and forth and you like literally fight each other, and like
it's just a great environment where I feel like we're pitching, right? But it's like it's the truth, right? We take care of like the new people coming in, like white belts, and we little by little, and they start to feel more comfortable, and and then you're not like, you know, talk shit, mean, well, I guess it's the delivery, right?
Yeah.
Of stuff, but
you have to say, there's a difference between being an asshole and talking shit, and like, there's a fine line. You got to be able to deliver it right, because sometimes you're just being mean.
yeah.
Marco.
Yeah. Who, you know, your 11 year journey?
11 years.
11-year journey.
Yeah.
Who would you like to give a shout out to?
Well, shit. I mean, I'll shout out the first people I did jiu-jitsu with, Marcelo De Pioli, my first instructor, John Budd also, and then John Evans, who's great. He actually teaches at Subconscious BJJ right now. He's a great dude, really great dude. Obviously you, for everything you've done for me, and being able to train with you this last 6 or so years has been a real honor. And Bob for helping me fix my arm and make me a little less fat. You know, like that's really important. Yeah, just all the people that have helped
Rob,
me.
Robert Miller. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Buff Rob, Robert Miller. Very powerful triceps. Yeah, just everybody that's helped me along and train with me and kick my ass. Well, everybody that's kicked my ass along the way, and there's a lot of people. It's far too many to name. But yeah, because it's a journey.
What would you like to give back to jiu-jitsu?
Oh shit, what would I like to give back? I think at some point, I'd really like to really teach. I do enjoy like teaching and coaching a lot, you know, like as much as like I really wanted to be a competitor and I wanted to be that tough guy. It's not really my thing, but I do enjoy teaching and coaching, and I've usually get positive feedback about it. So I assume I'm okay at it. Yeah, I'd like to teach at some point one day, not trying to sell you on it, but yeah, that'd be cool. I think that's what I'd want to give back, or make up a really fun move and give it a fun name. I don't know. No, probably won't happen. I'm not that creative.
Love it. What's your Instagram? What's your social media?
Hold on. I don't want to say it wrong.
I think it's Zach
I'm pretty sure
Lane.
it's just
Zach Lane BJJ. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me double check here.
At Zach Lane BJJ.
At Zach Lane BJJ. It is private, but if you're cool, I'll add you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Let's keep going.
Yeah,
Let's do it. We're back. I was asked you about your shout outs, and then I was like, oh, I didn't ask you about your mom and dad, and hear your mom and dad.
Yeah.
And then you're like, my dad, you found your dad.
Yeah. So, we'll do the happier part first. My mom's always been very supportive of jiu-jitsu, and just me in general. She's a really good person, really good mom. My parents got divorced when I was like 8. But like,
do you have any brothers, sisters?
I have one brother, Wyatt. He's older than me. He's like 35 or something. I don't see him that often. And then, my mom's always been really cool. But my dad, awesome dude. He actually came to my first gym a couple of times, like hung out and stuff. I miss that guy. But he died when I was 24. It was a weird day. I remember he was like sick, and he wasn't feeling good. But I didn't think anything about it because I was in my 20s, man. I don't know, whatever. And
he was sick, you said?
Yeah, he wasn't
feeling good.
He seemed like he had a cold. It didn't. He was a little pale, and he had like a like a towel over his head, just to like whatever. And whatever, I didn't think anything of it. And I went to my buddy's house to watch a movie, End of Watch. Can't ever watch that movie again. It's a good movie, but can't ever watch it again. Watching that movie, and then we drove home. I drove home. And then I get out of the car, I'm walking up the stairs, and my door had a window in it. My dad always sat in his chair, which was like right through the window. And I'm looking at him, and he just didn't look right. He looked kind of gray. And I was like, maybe he's sleeping, whatever. And I open the door, he doesn't move. I go over to him. Dad, nothing. No, nothing. At some point I slapped him. I was like, Dad, pop, nothing. Oof. And then I called the cops, or I called 911. And they had me pull him off the chair, and he was a big guy. He was like 400 pounds. I yanked his ass off the chair, did the chest compressions, nothing. EMT showed up, but I think he'd been gone for a minute. And then
So you found your dad?
Yeah, I found my dad dead in the living room. And then we ended up, it teaches you like who who really are your family and friends because when somebody dies, because like my extended, I'm not gonna say any names, but my extended family, his like old friends didn't treat us like family after that. It was weird. They were like trying to get stuff. They want things. Now they were like kind of like using my brother, who's he's autistic. He's got Asperger's, but like he's a little autistic, and like using him to like try to get like like a coin collection or this, that, and the other thing, and his friends like calling me to like try to buy, like we needed money to keep the house going before we could sell it. Yeah. And so we were gonna sell his car. And I remember his like friends calling me, trying to get the car off me for like super, like dirt cheap, like nothing. And I'm like I can't sell it.
Instead of being supportive and trying to help you out and support you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was just like, no. So I just sold it to some lady. Yeah. These people that are like my uncles, they're supposed to be like my family.
Interesting.
I haven't even talked to them. I haven't talked to them for, I'm 32 now. That have been 7 years. I mean, these people helped raise me pretty much.
Wow.
And like they just bounced. That was it. You know? So it really, when somebody dies, it teaches you like who really cares, like who actually gives a shit, and who's just kind of around, you know. But yeah, that was a rough time. But then we sold that. I talked to you, said I went to Europe. That's when we sold the house. I'll bring it up to a happier spot. We were selling the house. We got a buyer, whatever, and then. Previously, I'd figured out like, okay, we're gonna go to Europe. Me, my buddy, and two of our lady friends, and so we flew out there. Well, when we got to Germany, I was telling you about in Germany. I remember just to bring this to a happier ending. I remember my mom called me and she's like, "Okay, house sold. Your money's in your bank account," and we sold it for like a good amount of money. I don't want to say whatever. But there was like, there's 6 figures in your bank account right now, and I'd never had money in my life, ever. And so I remember I was all excited, and then I go to like an ATM in like the Munich like travel center, and it's a little it feels like down like the area I was, because Munich's very pretty, but the area I was a little like it felt like downtown LA, like
it's probably like by the train station.
Yes,
the main train station, because that's the only area in Munich that's like kind of like they have like the strip bars and
that's where we stayed.
That. Yeah, that's
like we should have went somewhere else, but I went to an ATM in there. I put my card in, and it's one of those ATM that eats it. It like sucks it in all the way. So I was like, oh, fuck. And then like, okay. And I plug in my stuff, and then I put the maximum amount you could take out. Like boom, 500 euro, whatever it was. Yeah. Enter. And then out pops fucking Monopoly money. I don't know if you've ever seen, of course you have, you lived in Germany. Euros look so different.
Because before they had euros, but
It looks so different from all our money's the same size, same color, different old dude's face on it. Their shit is different colors, different size. It looks like Monopoly money. Not being rude. It's true. I love it. Europe's great. But I pulled it out, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? And like, because it looked like I was just spending, because it looked like when I had a bunch of money, it looked like Monopoly money. So I was just having a good time in Germany. So out of that terrible situation, at least, something life affirming, changing happened. I got to like experience Europe, and I got to go out and really like travel and do something cool and see if I really liked that or not. And I'm okay. I don't need to travel that much, but but yeah. So out of that terrible day came the some fun, at least. Yeah. Way down the line.
What about I was just going back, not to make it a downer, but the people what about the people that supported you? Like you said, and you saw who helped you and who weren't.
Oh yeah. I mean, like my mom. A lot.
Of course, yeah.
Absolutely. My other best friend, Steve, he's the one I went to Europe with. He really helped me out a lot. He promised he came over that night because I was hanging out with him, and he came over that night, and my mom he promised my mom he'd take care of me and all that shit, and he has that to this day.
Those are those moments, right, that you never forget.
Yeah.
No matter for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and I had a yeah.
Say it.
Yeah. It's my mom and Steve. I'm just trying to think like all the people that like really stuck with me through that. My jiu-jitsu friends, honestly, were like there for me at the time. Because I was training at that time. Yeah, I started when I was 21. I was 24. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a lot. The family I made, doing other stuff. stuck with me. And then the family that like was supposed to be my family that watched me grow up as a baby, like they fucked off. They wanted stuff. And then once it was all over, they just fucked off. I was like, dude, what the hell? Seriously?
Really makes you realize what, do you think about that, right? Like,
yeah,
the people that you surround yourself with, and that deeper, you're like, would that person be there for me or my family, right?
Yeah.
In a time of need.
Yeah. I used to, I think like, oh, that's my, it's my uncle. Like, he loves me, I love him, and then nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Because talk is cheap, right? But when it comes down to it.
Yeah. When it came down to it.
Took action and did the right thing.
Yeah.
Or has that, that wants to do the right thing.
Yeah. So I found, I found the right people through that.
Yeah. Thanks, brother. Thank you again.
Thanks
for sharing. And,
of course,
anytime. Love you, man. You're the.
Too.
Yeah, it's always a good time. We always have fun hanging out.
We got to get me and Marco on here.
Yeah, for sure.
Together,
for sure.
Like, just get him to listen up. We can tell him like, hey, if it's weird, we won't put it out. It's okay.
So he doesn't get so nervous.
Yeah. I don't know why he's so nervous. Whatever, dude. Yeah. So.
Thank you, man.
Of course.
All right.
Anytime.